I noticed that a lot of people, myself included, were feeling rather low the past few weeks. I don't know if it was burnout, 2021 misbehaving, Mercury in retro dance, or whatever, but it's just been a weird time. But I'm hoping March brings us all back into complete joy and bliss. Or at the very least, it brings us a lot of money. Can I get an amen?
Amen. Boring people. Let's go.
Wow, wonderful, wonderful. My name is Tamara, and you are now watching The Yellow Wall.
Make I tell the matter. Still an agent butter with this pure water, but no be me go judge.
Is it just me or is this year kind of dry? You haven't had a real scandal in a while. It's now over 2 whole months into the year, and the most exciting thing that's happened is that babe deciding controlling your edges with Gorilla Glue was a good idea. Kim finally deciding she's had enough and leaving Kanye, and yet another rich, successful, famous Nigerian music artist cheating on their partner. Okay. What happened to the good old days when celebrities would do truly wild stuff, like pay someone to beat them up so they can pretend it's racism? It used to be so exciting, but now, I blame COVID. It's not been a completely boring past few weeks though. Prince Harry and Meghan have fully absconded from the royal family and are marking the occasion by putting their faces out there. Harry did a fun bus tour thing with James Corden, and the two of them sat with Oprah for an interview that's out this weekend. And me, I'm patiently waiting for the royalty. And speaking of famous pregnant women, I've noticed the new trend seems to be hiding your pregnancy until you've had the baby and then doing surprise. See all the pictures we took over the last 9 months. And this why Tomi and Banky, Lala Akindoju, and even our very own Akanani and his Claire revealed that they became new parents and have been sharing their pregnancy journey in bits on social media. Congratulations to them all, especially our little shade corner baby. A few weeks ago, there was a debate. Long before this debate itself, the question has always loomed amongst us. It's been talked about at parties, articles have been written, scholars have analyzed, and even I myself have sat down to ponder. Everyone was talking about the age-old question, what generation is better, Gen Z or Millennials? For those of you who somehow don't know this, Millennials, sometimes referred to as Gen Y, but only by white people, are people born between 1981 and the late 1990s. And Gen Z are people born from the early 2000s to the early 2010s. There's a whole bunch of other generations, the lost generation, the silent generation, the baby boomers, Generation X, which is actually what a lot of our parents are and not the same as baby boomers. And there's Generation Alpha, which is what all the little babies that were born from the 2010s till now are. But today, I'm focusing on the Gen Z and millennial beef. There's been a lot of back and forth as to which generation is the best one between Gen Zs and Millennials. And I, Tamara, have decided to compare the two side by side and come to a final conclusion. Because why not? I like to think I'm not only unbiased because, to be honest, I think both generations are chaotic and secretly wish I was in whatever generation regularized smoking weed and drawing peace signs up and down. But I'm also well versed on the behaviors of both because I live in a house with myself, a millennial, my 2 teenage siblings who are Gen Z, and my other sister who was born on the cusp and is therefore a zillennial. That's actually a thing. Also, I beg, do not take this too seriously. I obviously haven't met and analyzed every millennial and Gen Z in the world. This is just me having my cool fun based off what I have observed. So without further ado, it's time for the throwdown. Gen Z versus millennials. Round 1, communication. I like to think both generations are superior to all the other generations in this sense. Back in the day, everyone was all, stiff upper lip and keep your feelings to yourself. But now, everyone is out here using their Instagram captions as a full diary. And while sometimes it's very much oversharing, overall it's wonderful to see how easy it is for people to communicate. Both generations are good at it, but the Gen Z take this round. We have millennials who are 40 and those guys haven't unlearned their secret-keeping, weird, non-verbal communicating skills from the older generation, so it's not even their own fault. Plus, even for us younger millennials, we're great at texting and writing communication, but we stay running from FaceTime and stay putting phone on Do Not Disturb, so even we are not great. But the Gen Z kids, they seem so good at face-to-face communicating and getting fast info with phone calls. So therefore, Gen Z take this one. Round 2, work ethic. Hands down 100%, this goes to Gen Z. I'm sorry my fellow millennials, but work-wise, we are not the best. Don't get me wrong though, the people who are working, they work their asses off. But we're also the generation that regularized following your dreams and your bliss and prioritizing that over making money. We're by no means lazy, despite what Buhari thinks. But work isn't a lot of millennials' priority. Happiness is, which is great. But Gen Z, oh my good God, those guys are beasts. Those guys would live in the library so they can get absolutely perfect grades while also working whatever full-time job they can get, plus having 3 side hustles and 1 extra charity thing they do over the weekends, because why not? And somehow, they will still have time left for Netflix, TikTok, and Billie Eilish. They are beasts. They're super competitive about it as well, but like in a healthy, supportive way. Like you can find 2 Gen Zs vying for the last spot in a class, and the 2 of them will be sharing notes and shouting, "Yes, queen" on each other's Insta posts. I can't lie, I absolutely love to see it, but it confuses me also. It's very interesting. Millennials, we like to believe we'll get done, and we'll work for it, but ain't nobody out here trying to die, I beg. But Gen Z, they get done. Round 3, fashion. I'm going to keep this one brief. Millennials get this point. I'm not going to pretend to be a fashion expert. To me, I literally just grab whatever is comfortable and clean and figure out how to make it look cute. But I have eyes, which is why I can see that millennials are fashion gods. Have you seen some of the influencers out there? Have you seen the looks that they serve? Meanwhile, have you seen the Gen Z I see the most? Jojo Siwa's looks? Come on, can't compare the two. Have you seen what our millennial designers are doing in this Nigeria? Orange Culture, Kenetize, others I can't remember right now. They are making magic. And Gen Z, from what I can tell, they're either wearing skin-tight bodysuits or gym wear and crop top. That's it. Joggers, bicycle shorts, track suits, designer or not, all is still gym wear big. And even that, I swear that was a 90s trend that they just recycled and made skimpier. So technically, their fashion sense is even based on millennials self. So therefore, millennials win. Round 4, social media. Honestly, when it comes to social media, we're all kind of slaves to it, regardless of the generation. So instead of focusing on how much we use it, I'm going to focus on how we use it. And then I'm going to give millennials the points, because when it comes to social media, Gen Z is insane. While I do appreciate the amount of work that goes into TikTok, which is another testimony to how hardworking and smart those kids are, it's weird. There's so many dances. Why? Are we not tired? We've just been dancing since. A lot of people think all of this started because of the pandemic, but I am here to tell you, I've been watching my siblings and their friends learn dances from the internet for years. And I don't get it. I watch all of them, but I don't get it. And if the Gen Z people are not dancing, then they're displaying every aspect of their lives on social media. All of it. The good, the bad, the ugly, all. I watched a video where a girl was recording herself crying in the middle of a full breakdown. So she will cry, and now and she was not joking. Why this? It's much, I beg. They need to relax. I get that some older people do this too, but it's definitely not as much. And don't get me wrong, millennials are out here posting all sorts on social media too. But for the most part, at least it's like curated, fake, look at my life is perfect sort of content. Putting yourself all out there on the internet is scary, I beg. I do feel for them. Point for the millennials. Round 5, relationships. I think we're now all aware that a lot of our dating habits are affected by not just our personalities, but how we were brought up. What we saw, the childhood traumas we dealt with, the books we read, all of that good stuff. So based on all that, Gen Z win this one. But just by mistake, because millennials is honestly not our fault. A lot of millennials are just now getting in touch with their feelings, figuring themselves out in therapy, and starting to heal from the childhood trauma growing up anywhere, but especially in Nigeria, inevitably leaves you with. We barely understand our own feelings, much less how to coexist with someone else and their own feelings too. So millennials are out here dating on vibes and inshallah, to be honest. But Gen Z, those guys have been analyzing themselves and each other since they were small kids. When they were 5 in the playground, that's what they did, therapy class. They are very, very big on self-awareness and self-improvement. They know themselves well, so of course it's easier for them to explain themselves to their partners. Some of the best relationship advice I've ever gotten is from my Zillennial sister, because that baby is self-aware and she knows me. Gen Z win this one. They are sharp a bit. Me, I'm here, nearly 30 years old, and I'm just now realizing I'm not a good dating. This actually is a travesty. Round 6, overall vibe. Millennials are cool, but they're insane, which is valid considering all the things we've been through. We're the generation that use both radios and iPhones, TV boxes and flat screens, plus VHR tapes and Netflix. We've seen a lot. So yeah, we're all about, finding our bliss and avocado toast and goat yoga and just finding experiences that make us happy while we try and figure out adulting. Gen Z are cool too, but a lot more put together. Those guys have goals, plans, and a fire in their belly to make it all come true. They're obsessed with social media and star signs and their image, but to a certain extent, that obsession makes them want to be the best version of themselves. Or at least a better version of whatever they are. There's a lot more to both of these generations, but honestly, I think Gen Z takes it on too. In fact, overall, I think Gen Z are the best. They're the better generation. And that's how it should be. With what I've seen, every generation learns from how the previous ones up and tries to improve it. So millennials are awesome. We have the better music, the better fashion, and our parties are supreme. But Gen Z are hopefully going to be better than us, and that's perfectly okay. I honestly don't even understand why we were dragging with these kids. Oh, which generation is better? They should be better than us. Like, isn't that a good thing? If we're better, doesn't that mean we're going backwards? Gen Zs are better than millennials, who are better than Gen Xs, who are better than baby boomers. It's evolution, darlings. Forward ever, backward never. Instead of making noise like old people and Nigerian politicians and shouting, now wow, for these younger ones and their generation, we should be encouraging them, helping them fix the stuff they're not great at, and making sure they do become the superior generation. And if you're annoyed because Gen Zs feel too cool, don't worry. In a few years, Generation Alpha is coming for their spots. In the meantime, if we all really need a generation to hate on, that's simple too. It's the Zillennials. Those cospers, those people just in between, they are all low-key absolutely terrifying. They're the ones who have qualities of both generations, and it all comes together to make fearless psychopaths. I won't say too much, but you at home, from now on, just be gauging it. People born between the late 1990s and 2001, just be looking at how they behave. They are all sick. Before we go, it's now time for the Yellow Wall's newest segment, the part of the show where I answer all your burning questions. Ask me. No, this is a tricky one, especially I feel like everybody goes through that phase at some point, like when you get back from uni or when you are trying to become an adult but your parents are there. For now, I'm not gonna lie, you're 21, you don't have any money, just calm down, relax, try and get on with your parents as well as you can. Another thing that really helps, lying. Fucking lie. If they say don't go out, say, oh, I've got church retreat, I'm sorry, go stay at your friend's house for 2 days and club like a bastard. Come back on your long skirts, hold your Bible. Hey mom and dad, make them dinner, they give you money. It's a win-win for everybody. You have to learn, you have to balance it because they are paying your rent. So keep them happy, but then keep yourself happy too. With lies. I know I said ask me anything. I did not expect this. Honestly, the right time to lose your virginity was 6 years ago. So I don't know, bro. Like, I feel like 18 is the perfect age. But I mean, you seem to already know what you want to do. You have a plan. You know you don't want it to be a romantic one-on-one thing, which I think is best because sex is like really awkward. So if it's somebody you don't have to know and see again, if it's your first time, fine. So you know what to do. Find a random, just sit on it. Don't think about it. Just sit on it. Unless you're a man, in which case just put it in, you know, just, and then, yeah, it's very uneventful. I'm not gonna lie. You're going to, for at least the first few times, be like, why does everybody always make noise about this? But keep on keeping on, and it'll be good. But also though, why did you stay a virgin for this long? Because if there was a reason, I feel like you should stick to the reason. But if it was just by mistake, then yeah, throw that stuff away. Not throw it away, lose it. Use protection. Oh, I mean, Yellow Wall is all about protection, okay? Condoms, spermicide, other things. And that's enough questions for today. If you have any questions about absolutely anything for me, then go ahead and email them to asktamarayellowwall@gmail.com with only one W because my producer cannot spell. Or you can go ahead and DM us on the Instagram. And that brings me to the end of the episode. What are your thoughts on our generational differences? Let me know in the comments below or on our social media platforms. And Gen Z, Millennial, even the lost generation self, all of you should subscribe to our YouTube channel, Accelerate TV, because we have content for everybody. My name is Tamara, and I'll be back in 2 weeks with more from the Yellow Wall. You know what? I think it was baby boomers now. It was baby boomers that were smoking and drawing peace sign because they were so high and drunk all the time. That's why there were so many babies. That's the real boom.
Make I tell you the matter. Still an butter with this pure water, but no be me go judge.